I'm Pete Daniel, and I live in the Tamar Valley on the border of Devon and Cornwall. Join me on my adventures in the Tamar Valley as I try and show you some of the wildlife I love to see and film. As well as other projects me and my family undertake on our daily routines. Well, join me this week as I'm back to the garden to see if anything is happening in my bird boxes on the back of my shed. I try to show you if anything is starting to happen in our eggs back at the incubator. I go to the barn to set up one of my trail cameras to see if I can get a shot of a beautiful bird in the Tamar Valley before I get back to the valley with my film camera and I see something a wee bit special. Well, it's another fine and sunny day in the Tamar Valley, and it's time to do a little bit more work at the garden whilst the weather's staying dry. But before we get to work, there's something I want to check on. Right, okay, well I come at the garden this morning and let the chickens out, and I brought my laptop with me. And I want to check my bird boxes because I put them up end of January, beginning of February when we had all that bad weather. And I haven't checked them since, and I'm hoping it's still working. So I'm going to plug in now and just see if anything's going on in the boxes. I should hope that something will be happening by now, coming into April. Just plug in the video and have a look and see. Right, okay, that's fired up. Okay, well that's box number one, that's that one. And that one's empty. The picture's a little bit milky. Ain't too good. Maybe because we've had a cold start this morning. But the box is empty. It doesn't even look like anything's attempted to go in there and start doing anything. Okay, right, well there's nothing in that one. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we got something in the other box. Right, I haven't seen any activity around the shed with the birds around and that. Plenty of activity on the bird table still, and they've just started pairing up. So hopefully, let's have a look, see. Yes, yes, we got something happening in the box. This is brilliant. We got the start of a nest coming on. Right, you can see moss in there. It looks like feathers and bits of long grass and whatnot. So a bird is starting to build a nest in my box. That's absolutely brilliant. I'm pleased as punch with that. It's fantastic. Right, okay, well hopefully in the next few days, week or so, I'll be able to come up and I'll have the camera on and I'll see the bird coming in building the nest. I'll be able to show you what bird it is. But in a minute, I'm going to go away and keep quiet around this area because this is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, birdie. Well, that's really, really good news to see that the birds have started building a nest in my box. It's absolutely brilliant. But now, it's time to do some jobs at the garden. And Daisy gets busy with Tash in the greenhouse, making pots and planting out some seeds. Whilst I patch up and put the shed back together, and then I borrow my mate Sean rotavator to turn the dung into the garden before I can do my last job of the day and put something new up for our birdies. Right, well the last job of the day before I can go is to put up my new bird table. I made this one with Elsie and Daisy has painted it and it's ready to go up. The old one, he's thinking he's had a better day, so he's going to go. So I'm going to take him off and replace it, and I can put the feeders back up for the birds. Right, well that's the bird table up. Now what we're going to do now is just put screws back in for the feeders to hang on. And that's that job done. Ideal. Right, well there you are, that's the bird table done, the feeders are back up. All I've got to do now is put some bird food on the table and it's all good to go again. The birds will be happy. Good job done, I think. That's ideal to get their food jobs done at the garden. But now I'm off home to see if I can show you anything that's happening with our eggs in our incubator. So fingers crossed. Right, okay, well I'm back down with the incubator tonight, and it's been 8 days since I put these eggs into the incubator. And what I'm hoping to do tonight is show you what we call candling. And the reason we do the candling is to see if anything's developing inside of these eggs. Hopefully Frank's done the job and fertilised the eggs. Now they're in the incubator, we should see a little chick developing. Now all you need for that is your torch, okay? And we'll take an egg out of the incubator, but just to show you what I'm going to do, here's one from the eating pot, okay? Now I turn the lights off, and I put the torch on, I just hold it onto the egg like that. And what you should see inside that egg is we should see an air sac at the top with lots of veins coming down from the top, going down towards the yolk, where the little embryo should be developing in there. I'll just show you now with this egg. Just let me turn the lights off. Right, okay. So I've got my egg, and I'll just put it on top of there, and you can see there's nothing inside of that egg. Now if that one had been fertilised and starting to develop in the incubator, you would expect to see veins coming down from the top down towards the yolk. But there's nothing in that one because he's from the eating pot. Okay, right, let me just put the lights back on. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do now is get set up. I'm going to sanitise my hands because everything's got to stay clean, because inside of there we've got the moisture from the incubator and also the heat. So bacteria breed in there, no problem at all. So everything's got to be clean and sterile at all times. But I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get ready, take an egg out, and hopefully, fingers crossed, show you something inside of the egg. Right, let's go and do my hands. Right, okay, well I think I'm ready to go. I've got the torch ready, I've sterilised my hands. All I've got to do now is turn out the lights, take an egg out of the incubator, and hopefully show you something inside of the egg. I want to do it as quick as I can, because as soon as I take that lid off, the humidity in the incubator and the temperature will drop. So I don't want to keep the egg out of the incubator for too long. So as quick as I can, let's do it. Fingers crossed, eh? Right, let's get the torch on ready. Turn the lights off. Right, let's pick an egg. You'll do. Right, get them up here. Let's have a look. Yes! There you go. Bingo. Look at that. Look. Fantastic. You can see all the veins coming down from the top of the egg, look, coming down from that air sac, down towards the yolk, and that's where a little embryo will be inside there. That's absolutely brilliant. Right, let's get that back inside the incubator. That's fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Right, let's get that. Right. Well, that's absolutely brilliant, eh? That means that Frank's done the job and he's fertilised the eggs. That's absolutely brilliant. Right, what I've got to do now is leave them in there until day 19, and then it's the next stage of incubation, and I'll show you that then. But that's absolutely brilliant. I'm really, really pleased with that. Well, that's absolutely brilliant to see that we have some chicks developing in our own eggs. Absolutely brilliant. But they have to be left alone now for a few days. So now that gives me a chance to revisit a project I wanted to try a month or so ago, which didn't end too well for me. Right, okay, well I'm back down to the weir today, and instead of putting one trail camera down like I did last time and said I was going to do again, I brought two. Now you may think I'm a bit mad and what a silly man I am for doing that after what happened last time. But I can't change that somebody came down here and tampered with my camera and took the batteries out and the memory card. I can't do anything about that. All I can do is try and get some shots down on the weir to show you some wildlife going on. And I've got two, because I want to put one across the top of the weir, looking out over, try and get that shot that I tried to get before, and I'm going to put another camera looking up the river. Why am I going to do that? Because I've seen a certain bird flying up and down the river the last couple of weeks when I've been down here, and that bird's the dipper. And I think it'd be lovely if I can try and get a shot of the dipper coming and pitching up on that weir, because obviously the water's still high because we've had a few days of rain. But this week coming, we're supposed to have brilliant sunshine, so the water level will drop. But I'm going to get in there now, and I'm going to set up these cameras, and all you can do is stay positive. Let's see if we can get something. Fingers crossed. Right, okay, well that's the weir camera set up. You can see I've got one looking straight across the top of the weir, looking back over the other side of the bank. I've got one camera looking up the river. And I've put the padlocks on to stop people getting in there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some shots of something down on the weir. That'll be brilliant. Right, I'm going to get out before I fall in. Ideal. I shall leave those cameras there now for a week or so. And just hope when I come back they are still there, so fingers crossed for that. But now I'm making my way up to the barn with another camera I want to set up, because I want to try and show you a particular bird, a bird that I love to see. Right, okay, well I've come up to the barn today. I hope you can hear me right, because it's quite windy outside and the roof's rattling a bit, but hopefully you can hear me. Now I've come up here today because I want to set up one of my trail cameras. As you can see at the back of the barn, I've got the hayloft. In the back of that is a barn owl box, and what I want to try and do is set a camera up looking into the back of the hayloft to try and show you some shots of the barn owls coming out of the nesting box, and that'll be really, really good. So I'm going to get up there and I'll put my ladder, I'm going to get up there and put a camera on the A-frame looking into the hayloft. But before I do that, I want to show you something I found. It's a good sign that the barn owls is here, and it's called a pellet. Now what's a pellet, you ask? A pellet is basically everything from what the barn owls eat and can't digest. So when they go off in the field hunting, they find voles and mice and everything, and of course they haven't got teeth like us, so they can't chew them up. So they swallow them all, right? So they get them, they swallow like this, and it goes down in their stomach, and that's where it digests everything. But it can't digest the bones and the fur. So basically inside the stomach, it all clumps together, and the barn owls cough them up and spit them out. And I've managed to find one over here, and I want to show you. Have a look inside. It's absolutely brilliant. Right, okay, so I've managed to find a pellet from the barn owl on the floor outside the hayloft. Before I break it apart too much, just look in there, you can actually see the bone sticking out. That's a little bone from a little mouse or a vole or something, and that's all fur. All that is fur. It's all wrapped up, and that's what the barn owl can't digest, so it spits it back out. So I'm going to have a look in properly and just see. There isn't too much inside of that one, I don't think. No, okay, a little bit more bone. But this one I'm going to open up. Well, there's quite a few bones in here. There you are, look. There's bones there that you can see. Okay, as I'm breaking it open, you can just see the little bones inside of there. Oh, we got a skull. Here you go, look. Oh, that's brilliant. Here, look, I can show you that. There you are, look. There's a little skull of a vole or something that the barn owl is eating. If I can get the fur off, take that right off, look. Here you are. Try and get you a shot of that. There you are. And you can just see the little teeth at the front, look. And that is basically a vole or something that the barn owl is eating. And they can't digest it, so they regurgitate it. But that is absolutely brilliant. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get up on that A-frame and hopefully set up one of my cameras and try and get some shots of the barn owls coming out. And that'd be absolutely brilliant. Right, okay, well that's that job done. So now I can leave that trail camera looking into that hayloft to the back where the barn owl boxes too, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get some shots of the barn owls to show you. And hopefully when I come back in a week or so's time, it won't be so windy either. Well, I shall leave that camera at the barn now for a while, and hopefully, fingers crossed, when I come back, I'll have something on that camera that I can show you. But for now, I'm getting back to home, because it's time for the next stage with the incubator. Right, okay, well I'm back at the egg incubator, and it's getting exciting because it's day 19. Now, that means it's time for these eggs in the turning mechanism to come out of there and then be set down, laying flat in the incubator. The reason for that is because from day 19 onwards, any chicks developing in those eggs is going to start turning and getting ready for hatch out. Now when I set the eggs down, I'm going to put a little pencil mark on the top of them. And what I want to try and show you is the eggs wobbling. And that's when you know that there's chicks inside trying to turn, get into position, ready for hatch out. So I've set up a secondary incubator here, and what I want to do is put the bigger hen's eggs into that one, so there's more room for the rest of the eggs in this incubator. But everything's got to stay clean, so I've got to sterilise my hands. Because of course, inside of there where there's moisture and it's warm, bacteria will thrive. And that could spoil everything if that gets in there, ruin the lot. Right, okay, well I think I'm ready. So fingers crossed, eh? Right, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hen's eggs straight into this incubator. I've had to make a makeshift centre there. For some reason I've lost the centrepiece, so I've made it out of a yoghurt pot, cut holes in the top, and the water supply is down in the bottom. So obviously the heat from this incubator, the fan blows down and it causes the moisture to come up, the steam and everything. So that's all fine. So what I'm going to do is take the lid off, and I'm going to put these hen's eggs straight into there. Then I'll pop the lid back down before I get the rest of the eggs out and take that turner mechanism out. Right, here we go. So they're going down into lockdown. Very gently. I always just keep the egg, oh, the alarm's going to go off because of the humidity and temperature. Just keep them at a slight angle when they're in there. They feel quite heavy. I hope something's in them, man. Right, that's stay in there. I'm just going to pop that lid back on there quick just to keep the moisture and the heat going in there. I'll just pop that down because what I want to do is just put the pencil mark on these eggs. Stay them up and we'll see if anything's moving or wobbling. It's literally just a strip with a pencil on top, just like that. Right, okay, that's A done. Okay, right, this is, move everything out of the way. This could be a bit of a caper, but it should be fine. I'm going to get the eggs out, put them into my towel here. We can't see that very well. Just lay them down there, get that turning mechanism out, and then get the eggs back in. Right, let's do it. Let's talk about it and let's get on with it. Right, very carefully, gently. I need to do it as quick as I can, but as carefully as I can. So very fragile inside these eggs. Right, lay them down in there. Shouldn't take too long. Of course, the egg's going to hold the heat anyway. Okay, it's no different if the mother hen got off the nest. Put them down, they all feel nice and heavy. They all feel nice and heavy. Right, let's open some here. Right, let's get that out. Just get it out. Out of the way. Oh, it isn't coming out. Yeah, right. That's out the way. Right, before I put them in, just quickly. Yeah, like that. And there, like that. It's getting exciting. Hopefully we're going to get something. Got to get something out of these eggs, surely. Right. Leave like that. Oh. Rolling around a bit. Sorry about that. Right. Back in with the heat. Just put a little pencil mark on them. And get the lid back on. Right, okay, lid back on, and the humidity and everything should start building back up. Right, we're back on. That's it. That's it. Ideal. Right, well that's it. The eggs is set down in the incubator. They've gone into lockdown. I can't touch them now, can't do anything at all. All I've got to do now is keep an eye on the humidity. I've got to keep that between 60 and 70, okay? Because I've got to keep the moisture up in the last 3 days, because the chicks inside those eggs is getting ready for hatch eggs. They're turning, so they're moving, okay? So they're using more energy. It's a bit like us. If we go for a run, we've got to drink some water to replenish our liquids, fluids inside our body. It's exactly the same as that inside that egg for that chick. If you don't keep the humidity up, the moisture inside that incubator, then the egg will just dry out and that's it, game over, finished. Okay, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. The temperature's coming back up to speed, the humidity's coming back up to speed. I can't do no more now, but keep an eye on them and hopefully show you the eggs wobbling inside the incubator. And that's the chicks moving ready for hatch egg. But now, I've got to leave them go, and hopefully in a few days time, fingers crossed, we'll have some chicks running around in incubators. And that'll be absolutely brilliant. Well, I can't do no more with the eggs. I just got to wait and see what happens in the incubator. But fingers crossed, hopefully I shall get some chicks out of the eggs, and that'll be really, really good. But now I'm going to get on, and I'm going down to the valley today to hopefully see something a little bit special. Right, okay, well I'm making my way down to the valley today because there's a certain bird I want to try and show you. And I'm just hoping if I can get down in position and sit and wait and stay as quiet as I can, this bird will come back. I think it's a nesting site that I found, which would be absolutely brilliant, because if it is, it's fantastic news. So what I'm going to do is get down in position, sit there as quiet as I can, and just wait and see what happens. And fingers crossed the rain will stay off and I'll be able to show you this bird. It's absolutely brilliant news for the Tamar Valley. all set up. I'm ready to go. I just got to wait now and see what happens. Believe it or not, this is a nest site of a bird of prey. And a beautiful bird at that. Oh, look, there she is. Oh, that's brilliant, look. That's the female peregrine falcon. That's a wonderful shot. Well, I think so anyway. Oh, she's moving up the nest. I'm just hoping there'll be eggs in that nest. That'll be absolutely brilliant. Yeah, look, they are. Look, she's sitting. Oh, that's fantastic news. That's absolutely brilliant, man. Right, I'm going to move off and let her be and let her get on with it. But this is absolutely brilliant. I can't believe how lucky I am to see this. Fantastic. Oh, I tell you what, that was something really, really special, wasn't it? To see that was absolutely fantastic. Not only did the peregrine falcon come back to the nesting site, but she went and sat as well. So there's obviously eggs in the nest site, and that's absolutely brilliant. I can't believe what I've just seen. I shall come back now in a few weeks' time and see what the progress is. But it's absolutely brilliant. I'm pleased as punch with that. Join me next time as work starts in the garden whilst we have the good weather. It all starts to happen down at the incubator, so I need to get things ready for the next stage. Me and Elsie go down to the valley to put some cameras out to try and find a certain animal before we get back to the weir, where it's better news than last time.